the CLI is my favorite 3-letter acronym, and so I'm really happy to be able to show you some of the new fit and finish features that we've made it into Preview 3 with. If you might remember, last summer we did a big usability survey about the CLI and the SDK sort of overall, and one resounding piece of feedback we got from all of you was, hey, we love the .NET CLI, but could it be a better CLI application? And so we're starting to do that in phases. And one of the areas that you all told us you wanted better support for was tab completions, right? You might be familiar with things like in PowerShell or other shells, you can start typing a command and then press tab to get examples of the kinds of commands that you can run. And the .NET CLI has had support for tab completion for years now, but it's been very hard to set up. And the completions that you set up were a little slow. No longer. Starting with Preview 3, there is a new command you can run called .NET completion script, and then you can put in your script name here. By default, we support bash, fish, new shell, PowerShell, and Zeesh with these completion mechanisms. And depending on the level of integration we have, you'll get different results when you run this command. So if I run this command for new shell, you'll see a very sort of limited kind of integration here. But if I run this command for, let's say, PowerShell, you get a very long, full-featured, natively integrated to PowerShell completion script. This is so much faster than things used to be. So as an example of what you get when you have this, like this is just me tab completing through all of the goodies that I get now. And this works for all of the other commands in the .NET SDK as well. So depending on the shell that you use, you'll get different features here. So if you are using Zeesh, for example, as you tab complete through these, you will get descriptions. And if I had my PowerShell configured slightly better, and if I'd done slightly more planning, you would have seen description for those option flags there too in the demo. So like I said, this is available for those 5 shells. What you will typically do with this is put this in a file like your profile, which is a file that is loaded up every time you launch a new instance of your shell. I've done that in my shell. There's some examples in the release notes of how you might do this in various shells, but it's super lightweight, super quick, and it makes the experience much nicer of using the CLI. There's even some nice usability enhancements like tab completion for NuGet package names when you use .NET package add. So I'm a real big fan of that. That's like low-key one of my favorite features. So everybody go set that up. And if you want us to do even more in this space, like maybe automatically registering those completions for you, let us know. That's just a very short sort of feature hop from where we are today. And also, if you have a preferred shell that we don't currently support, we have sort of a pluggable model here. So definitely like raise an issue and consider contributing that yourself. The next thing is that many .NET commands have this interactive flag. And this interactive flag is normally required when you are doing NuGet authentication, if you've got credential providers set up. Normally in the past, you would have had to provide this flag on every single command that might do something related to NuGet. And if you didn't, you would get a nasty error that says, hey, we tried to connect to this NuGet feed, but we couldn't. So one big change that we're doing across the CLI is we have made this flag implicitly like aware of the context in which you're running the command. So a normal .NET build or .NET publish or .NET pack will be interactive when you are at a keyboard typing commands. It will not be interactive if it's your CI/CD server, right? So we built this muscle for whether something is interactive or not, starting with the MS-Build terminal logger in .NET 8. And now that we're solid with the logic, we're expanding it out to more areas of the CLI. In the future, this same interactive flag will help determine things like if we stop to prompt you when we need to make a decision, instead of just stopping the command entirely. So lots of fun stuff, hopefully building on this sort of fundamental building block in the past. And as always, you can specify double dash interactive false if you don't want it. So that's a couple of the CLI niceties. One little thing that's kind of interesting that I want to let you know, though, is the CLI that I've been using, the SDK that I've been using, I don't have it installed globally, you might say. I have it installed locally. So if I look at this repo that I'm in, I have a local version of the .NET CLI or the .NET SDK installed here. But if I go up a directory and I do a version, and then I go here and do a version, these are different versions. I'm using the version that we released today inside the context of my local repo. How is that happening? Because starting in preview 3, we have a new feature in global JSON that helps .NET know where to look for different versions of the SDK. So what you can do is you can try out specific versions of the SDK just inside of a particular repo without impacting your global install, while still making use of your global install if you want. It's a relatively simple feature. All you do is you add a paths element to your global JSON, and you put an ordered list of where .NET should look for SDK installations. And if you have this set up correctly, then inside your repo, you will look for the version that we specified in our global JSON, and we'll find it. If you're outside that repo, it's just like you're using your normal global installs. Internally, in the .NET org, we follow this kind of local install practice for almost all of our repos. One of the main reasons we're doing tooling level support for this now is to make it easier for IDEs like Visual Studio to also know this information without having to do horrible workarounds like setting the path or the .NET root environment variables in your terminal. So look for more docs on that coming up in the future. You will need at least a Preview 3 install to use that feature. Last thing I want to show is this project file. This is a normal console project file, and I'm going to do something wonderful. I'm going to publish it as a container. I've got Docker running on the background already, and in just a couple seconds, I should get an actual container out of this project. This is something that we've had for several versions now. People use it, people love it. The most important thing to know about Preview 3 is I did not have to set any additional properties in my project file for this container publish to work. And that's a big difference from previous versions. You used to have to set a property called enable SDK container support. That's no longer the case. Now every project that can be published as a container. So that's where I'll stop it for now because I've been talking for a bit. I hope you all enjoy these fun CLI features and join us next time for even more.